Turbines for 2 wind farms off the coast of Rhode Island and New York are being built at the Port of Providence.
State leaders and the company that runs the offshore wind farms, Ørsted and Eversource, celebrated a milestone in the project's construction. Anita Buffoni joins us now from the Port of Providence with the details. Anita?
Well, Mike and Shannon, here at the Port of Providence, dozens of turbines are in the works for the Revolution Wind project, all expected to go live in the next 2 years. With the wind at their backs, offshore wind leaders celebrate progress made in the Revolution Wind and South Fork wind farms.
I can't complain about the wind. It's good for business.
The South Fork wind farm will be closer to New York, but the Revolution Wind project will have 65 turbines off Rhode Island's coast. It's projected to power roughly 200,000 Rhode Island homes and generate more than 700 megawatts of power. Some of that power will be brought to Connecticut. In comparison, the Block Island wind farm generates a small fraction of that. Turbine construction consumes the Port of Providence in every direction you look.
Again, these are the supported internal platforms. That's one of the 3 components that we're fabricating here.
Ørsted is investing $100 million for the work to be completed at the Port of Providence. The turbines are set to go live in 2025.
So you can build onshore wind and solar, but only so much. So the offshore wind's the real answer for solving the climate crisis.
Once operational, Revolution Wind would be the first utility-scale offshore wind farm to bring power directly to Rhode Island. Now, an environmental state agency needs to sign off on the Revolution Wind proposal and is expected to do so later this month. Live in Providence, I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.
The Port of Providence has been home to gas terminals and scrap metals. Well, now it's also home to a major green energy project. The foundations for what will become dozens of offshore wind turbines are being built there. And today, state leaders celebrated a milestone in the project. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni joins us now from the Port of Providence to tell us about it.
Well, the Revolution Wind project will bring 65 wind turbines off the coast of Rhode Island, and today marks a new phase of the construction of those turbines, which are expected to be up and turning in 2025. Offshore wind projects first begin onshore, and that's happening here at the Port of Providence. This is now the construction hub for the Revolution Wind and South Fork wind farms.
In about a month's time, we'll start loading out these components. So these components are critical to the offshore installation of the South Fork wind farm project.
On a windy afternoon, state leaders and the company behind the projects, Ørsted and Eversource, celebrated the next phases of the 2 wind farms.
For the South Fork wind farm,
Okay.
So that's the first project that we're building, and that's off the coast of New York. So there's 12 units, and then we're kicking off the fabrication here for the Revolution project,
Got it.
which is the next project, and there'll be 65 of those.
Revolution Wind will power nearly 200,000 Rhode Island homes once it's operational. About 700 megawatts of power will be generated from the 65 turbines. Some of that power will be brought to Connecticut. Comparing it to the 5-turbine Block Island wind farm, also run by Ørsted, which generates just a small fraction of that. Ørsted is investing $100 million for the work to be completed at the Port of Providence.
I think these represent, the first major steps for this country to kind of catch up with the rest of the world in building affordable, clean energy for the masses.
Once operational, Revolution Wind will be the first utility-scale offshore wind farm to bring power to Rhode Island. Now, not everyone is on board with the Revolution Wind project. Some members of the local fishing industry are pushing back. The state agency that needs to sign off on the proposal is expected to do so later this month. In Providence, I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.